Generalized blood pressure testing for a new patient. Ideally, you make sure that you're buying a blood pressure machine from a reputable supplier and that you always make sure you have new fresh batteries and that you don't leave the machine on for any prolonged period of time. I always make sure I take the batteries out at the end of a clinic day. That way you don't run the batteries down. We've already placed the cuff on the patient. Now, ideally, we place the cuff on above the elbow crease by 2 fingers. So 2 fingers above the elbow crease. You can see here there's a little dot that says ART. That indicates that we're placing the cuff here by the brachial artery. We want to make sure the cuff is on tight, but not too tight that I can't get 2 fingers underneath the cuff. And it's always appropriate to make sure you're using the correct size. You don't want to be using a cuff that's too small on the person, as again, it's going to give you a false reading. Ideally, if you're in any doubt, it's always worth going for a size slightly above, just to be on the safe side. We want to make sure the patient's in a comfortable position. So nice and sat upright, the feet touching the ground, and we're not crossing the legs. Now, ideally, we keep the arm roughly in line with the heart, okay? Roughly in line with the heart. Now, also we want to make sure that the patient's in a relaxed position, and it might be worth giving the patient 1 or 2 minutes just before you do the test. It's always worth letting them know as well, look, we're going to be doing a blood pressure test. You may feel the cuff is going to inflate and it's going to deflate. So just walk them through the process so there's no surprises. Then all we do is we place the tube into the machine and we press start. That is going to go through an automatic process. It will inflate and then it will deflate. That will then give us our systolic and diastolic reading, and it will give us our pulse rate. From that, we can then note it down and then make sure that every 6 to 12 months, as part of our reassessment process, we note down any subsequent changes in that patient's blood pressure that may indicate a referral. Once the cuff is fully deflated, it will then give us our patient's current blood pressure. This is a good rough estimate. Obviously, we would refer back to a healthcare practitioner if the reading was excessively high or if we wanted to double check what the reading was.